is such a hard one. Gosh, there's so many things I can think of that would help. I mean, first and foremost, it really is incredibly helpful to just if you have another parent who you can talk to, rage about, kind of let the top off about what you wish you could do in those moments. I just want to turn off the light and say, we're no more books, no more stories. And, we push all that stuff down. And of course, that's partly what causes the stress. We're already exhausted and we're pushing all these feelings down so that we're not losing our top. And sometimes we do, of course. But having a friend, a listening partnership, believe me, with my listening partner, I say all the things. That's where you say all the things that you're not going to actually say live. Get this diaper on, or put this, vitamin in your mouth, or sit down on the potty, or, the ways that you were treated oftentimes is how it is when those things that want to come out of our mouths that we're having to just stuff down. And we need a place for it to come out. You could do it on your own, you could do it in therapy, but there is something fundamentally different I have found with listening partnerships. Just another parent who gets it, who's listening, and you really let those feelings out in those moments. It could be 2 minutes. I've had listening partnerships, 2 minutes in the car where, I'm pushing on the wheel and, cursing and, just saying the worst possible things. And oftentimes there's, grief underneath that, or just utter exhaustion. Having other parents who can listen to us is integral. Having listening partnerships, if that's the only thing you do, totally a game changer. It's not going to make parenting like a breeze. Parenting is hard. We're really up against a lot. And so having other people who we feel are there with us, well, it relaxes some of the burden, and it can help us think through. In terms of in the moment, something that you can do, something that I have found really helpful is a little bit of play listening. Now, this is really hard when we're tired, and in the foundations course we go into play listening and how to use it with our children. But one thing that I've done with my child is, so play listening, basically, I'll just give a brief explanation. It's basically where you're doing a role reversal, where the child is the one in charge and has more power, and you're doing it in a way that gets them laughing. And what that does is it actually releases tension for both of us. Whatever is getting the child stuck, that's getting them to, resist bedtime, and we're all full of our feelings about how challenging it is, it can allow us to laugh a little bit. Now, we may not be able to do this. This is where listening partnerships can really help us think through, how might I get to a place where I can use play listening. And in the foundations course, we do listening time every single week. Every single week we do listening. Everyone gets a good amount of time of listening, so that you get to work through what might you do. And if I say play listening, how, and you don't think you could do it, how could you do it? And so really we do have to think about, we need to figure out how to do these things. If I give a suggestion, you think there's no way I can do that, that really is an indication that getting some listening time in a group like the foundations course, or connecting up through the parent club, it's a great place. The Hand in Hand Parent Club can help connect you to a listening partner to help you think through, what can I do, or how could I make this work? But one thing that I've done is, when my child is wanting one more book, I'll kind of lean in and, in a really playful way, or as playful as I can muster when I'm exhausted and frustrated, just say, oh, my little book monster, or whatever it is that your child is, my little water monster, always wanting water, or oh, my little wiggle monster, and really kind of coming at them with a lot of warmth. So with play listening, one thing that is really helpful is to say to you, what I do is I'll say to myself, all right, this is getting hard. I'm getting frustrated. My child is, they're having off-track behavior. Essentially, they're not able to think well. They're not wanting to brush their teeth, which is needed. And so I'm gonna come at them in a way that helps them laugh for 5 minutes. I'll give myself a set time. If I don't have a set time, then I'll blow my top, basically. For 5 minutes, I'll chase after him. So, oh, I'm gonna get you with the toothbrush, and then almost get them, almost pounce on them, and then they run away, hopefully laughing. The whole trick with play listening is to get them laughing. And these are the kinds of things that in the foundations course we would workshop, real time, to get real specific about your child and your parenting situation, what would get them to laugh, or maybe it's not a laugh situation. Maybe this is a situation where we use a different tool like stay listening, where we hold the limit and just listen to their feelings, let them cry. That would be the other way to do it. Time to brush your teeth, and then let her get mad and no, I don't want to. And we just listen. We don't fight it. We don't try to fix it. We don't try to change it. You're letting him or her, them, get their feelings out, and you're just holding that limit. And, even if we only can do it for 3 minutes, and then we want to use a different tool, a non-hand-in-hand tool. I use all the tools, hand in hand, and everything I can find. I think as parents, especially with toddlers, we need everything we can find. But even maybe for 3 minutes, to allow your child to get some of those big feelings out, feelings about having to follow someone else's lead. So if you were to do play listening, or to put on the pull-up, chase your child around, chase her around with the pull-up. I'm gonna get you, or where does the pull-up go? Does it go on my head? Does it go on my hand? And do it for 5 minutes, do it for 10 minutes. Schedule it every night. That's something that I've done, especially in really difficult moments.